Okay, we also learned about special triangles. And we learned for two kinds of special triangles. We have our 30, 60, 90 and our 45, 45, 90. Okay, for each of these triangles actually relate to the unit circle, and as these angles 30, 60, and 45 are actually on our unit circle. All right, so I wanted to tie this in. Now, the difference between these triangles and the unit circle is that the unit circle has a hypotenuse of 1. So if I wanted to make this triangle have a hypotenuse of 1, what I would need to do is divide. Here's my hypotenuse right now, right? My hypotenuse is 2. Well, if I divide 2 by 2, okay, I can get my hypotenuse to be 1. So when I divide this side by 2, I'm going to divide all the sides by 2. Okay? And when I divide all the sides by 2, now I have a special triangle. Okay? But the radius of the triangle is 1. And that's going to help us because now that the radius is 1, okay, I can compare it to my unit circle. So let's do the same thing with the 45, 45, 90 triangle. My radius right here is my 90-degree angle, and across from my 90 degrees is my hypotenuse. Let's make that hypotenuse equal to 1 by dividing by square root of 2. Okay, we divide each part by square root of 2. Okay, and square root of 2 divided by square root of 2, that's going to be 1. But what does 1 over square root of 2 equal? 1 over square root of 2, I would like to rationalize that denominator. Okay, that's not the proper way that we write it. 1 over square root of 2. Okay, if I want to rationalize that, I'm going to multiply that by square root of 2 over square root of 2. And when I multiply by square root of 2 over square root of 2, square root of 2 times square root of 2 just gives me 2 in the denominator. And in the top I have 1 times square root of 2, which is just square root of 2. So that means that each side, instead of writing 1 over square root of 2, I could really write square root of 2 over 2 in rationalized form. So the triangle becomes this. Okay, so I have 1 for my hypotenuse and I have square root of 2 over 2 for my sides. Now let's find the sine, cosine, and tangent of each of these. So what is the sine of 30 degrees using my triangle? Well, the sine of 30 is my opposite side over my hypotenuse side. My opposite side is 1/2 over my hypotenuse of 1. 1/2 over 1 is 1. My cosine of this is the adjacent over hypotenuse, square root of 3 over 2 over 1. So square root of 3 over 2 is my cosine. And what's the sine of 60? The sine of 60 is the side that's opposite from the 60 over the hypotenuse. That's square root of 3 over 2. And the cosine of 60 is the adjacent side to the 60 over the hypotenuse. Okay. And for 45 degrees, the sine of 45 is O over H, square root of 2 over 2 over 1. Okay, so all of them are actually over 1, so the only values we're getting for the sine and cosine are the side lengths, which is great because that makes it simpler. All right, so these values here are the values that are going to be on our unit circle, and these are actually the only values that you have to memorize. But I'm going to show you a better way to memorize them than just like this.